Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. We crafters and makers tend to start our crafting for Christmas in July. So here it is, July 20th, and I haven't even started making anything yet except for today. I made this cute little envelope. It can house a gift card or a business card or even cash if you like, and I made this without using a punch board. So if you're like me and don't have an envelope punch board, stick around. I'm going to show you how to make this cute little envelope like this. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so you're going to need 2 sheets of 6x6 paper to make one envelope, okay? And I'm using this really pretty Paper Studio paper pack from Hobby Lobby that I got on super sale at $5.49 down from $22, okay? So it's about 60% off, all right? And from that, I grabbed as many sheets as I like out of here, making this pile of paper. And I just cut them down to 6x6, okay? So I can make as many as 2, 4, I can make 4 more of these envelopes just from 3 sheets of 6x6 paper that I cut down to, 12x12 paper that I've cut down to 6x6, okay? So what I've done was I took my little envelope here, and I haven't sealed this up yet just so I can show you the sequence that I've put down inside of here. There's a piece of acetate back here that's holding in the, well, for this purpose it's a business card, but you can put an Amazon gift card in there or a Buffalo Wild Wings card in there. This one I haven't even used yet. Let's see. Yep, you can stick a Buffalo Wild Wings card down in there. So right now I have 3 cards stuffed in there, so that just goes to show how much room you have. I just decorated the inside of this envelope with some sequins, some Christmas tree sequins that I just opened. I bought this at Michael's for $1 probably last year sometime. So yeah, and then what I will do is seal up my envelopes just like this with a little dot of glue. I'm gonna use art glitter because it dries fast, and I don't really need a whole lot, just a little bit right on the edge, right about where the paper meets, and pop a little bit right there. Okay. So I'm just going to hold that for a second, use my dry wipes and clean off any excess, and then this will be all sealed up and ready to go as a little Christmas card or Christmas envelope, basically. And so in addition to that, I just popped a little button on the front for a faux closure, and that's it. Perfect little Christmas giver. Okay, so first of all, like I said, you're going to need 2 sheets of 6x6 paper, and I just basically cut 12x12 up into 6x6. Just trying to get this to dry really quickly, as art glitter normally does, but doesn't want to today. It's the weather. Unfortunately, it's actually raining outside right now. So yeah, my art glitter doesn't want to behave, but I will fix that with some Fabrifix. And again, it doesn't need a whole lot because we're not using a punch board. We are going to, I'm just going to give you the measurements that I use to make this envelope. And it's super, super simple, okay? So there's that. And my Fabrifix is sure to dry quickly, okay? So I'm just going to set this aside, let it dry. And I'm going to grab 2 more sheets of 6x6 paper. Here's the other one that I made. Okay. And what you want to do is start with selecting which side you want to be your outside. So the others, I've done the polka dot on the inside. This time I think I'm going to do the polka dot on the outside. So this will be my outside of my envelope. And this jingle bell will be my inside with a little poinsettia. So you're going to take your inside page and you're just going to fold it on the diagonal. In half. Okay, and then you want to cut this down. So I'm just going to grab my little mini guillotine here, cut this down on that diagonal line fold that you made. Okay, so now you have that. And I'm going to show you how I made my envelope without using a punch board. So if you're like me and don't have a punch board, I'm just going to show you how I made mine. Okay, so I took my little ruler here and I marked on the paper, on the inside of the paper. This is single-sided paper, obviously. I marked on here at 2.5 inches on the first side, which is my top side right here. I marked at 2.5 inches. Then I rotated my paper one time to the right. Let me move these paper packs so you can see. Okay, I rotated my paper once to the right, and then I marked it at 3.5 inches. So I'm just lining this up, marking it at 3.5. And then I'm going to rotate my paper again one more time to the right and mark it at 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to rotate it one last time over to the right and mark it at 3.5 inches. Okay, so the first mark that we made was at 2.5. Okay, so I'll just show you again. This one right here we marked at 2.5. Okay, right here. Then we rotated our paper, marked it at 3.5 right there. Rotated our paper, marked it at 2.5, and then rotated our paper again and marked it at 3.5. All right, really simple. That's all we've done so far. And I just took my ruler, same ruler, lined up those two marks on one side. So you're holding your paper on the diagonal now. You're going to hold your ruler at the two marks that you made on either side, any side, it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to use my hand to make a crease. Okay, so there's one crease. Rotate it again on the diagonal, line up those two marks. Doesn't matter which side you start with, you're going to end in the same spot regardless, and make a crease. Now you don't have to make these creases really tight right away. You can wait till the end and then bone fold those creases down, but I just don't want my paper to crack right now, so I'm just gently folding it with my hand and this ruler. And lined up those two marks and creased it. So now we have what sort of looks like an envelope. Like if you were to fold all of this in, you would have yourself a little envelope, okay? Of course, because we need these two flaps on the edge to come in on top of this sheet, we're going to have to double fold a crease over here in the corners, and I'll show you why in just a moment. I'm just going to do one side a little bit closer, 1/8 of an inch or so. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. So this side I did not do, this side I did. And when you fold this up like this, you want your page to come over the bottom sheet. Let's just say this is my bottom. If you didn't, you will notice that you don't have that much room here for this sheet to come over. It's just barely touching because we marked the page at 2.5 to 3.5, 2.5, 3.5. So we just need a little bit extra. So it would be like a little tiny 1/8 of an inch gusset, or yeah, a gusset basically, just to come over so that this page, this flap, touches the bottom flap. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, just 1/8 of an inch extra, sort of like a little gusset. Okay. Okay. And now you'll notice that both my sides come over and touch the bottom page, okay, the bottom of the page. All right, so now what we want to do is take our diagonals that we've cut, okay, and place it right here on the top. So you need to decide which way is your top and your bottom. So if your outside has a direction or a directional pattern, then you would want to make sure that your page is facing the right way up, okay? Mine happened to not have a direction, so it doesn't really matter for me. I'm going to use my Scotch Create glue stick and just glue this little diagonal that we cut onto the top portion of the envelope, right about so. All right. So again, we're working on the diagonal, which may be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's all worth it in the end. This is for if you do not have a punch board. If you have a punch board, by all means, use it, but I don't have one, and you know, I found this to work just the same, if not better. Okay, so again, if you have a punch board, go ahead and use it. I don't, and don't know how to. Let's just put it that way. I've never used one before, so yeah, there's my life. And I'm just going to recrease my folds so that the inside paper also gets that same crease, okay? And for this part, I'm just going to line this up and find the crease mark on the outside. Okay. All right. So now we have what looks like this. Okay. And what you want to do at this point is probably ink. So actually, I wouldn't ink just yet. I would probably go ahead and punch my corners. So I want to put a rounded corner on the top here, and I'm just using these. This is just some random corner rounders. Oh, here's my actual corner rounder. So I'm putting the large punch on the top flap, and on the sides I'm going to put this this little decorative punch. Do you see that? There's a little decorative punch right there. And I'm going to put another one over here as well. And this is just some random Beer Boss. I don't know. Some random punches that I got. Okay, so, and now this is my bottom flap here. I'm going to put another Beer Boss punch right there and cut away a straight edge. Okay, so now we have this, and I like that. That looks really cute. Okay, now I'm going to take my little, this is a little hole punch that I got at the Dollar Tree. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. I find that it does help with the bulk. So I'm just going to take my little hole punch and punch little half circles in all of the corners of the envelope. So again, it just helps with the bulk. It helps with the envelope to close a little bit easier, and you don't even have to do this at the bottom that much, but it does help your envelope come together and close up really neat. Okay, so there's that and that. Okay, so now the next step that I want to do is get my acetate. So I'm using just some plain regular acetate from probably some packaging, or let's see. Okay, I actually have a package of acetate. Okay, so here we go. Some clear acetate sheets. I got this at Michael's when they were on sale. Apparently no one wanted to use acetate anymore, and these were about $3 a piece. So I got 12 sheets of 12 by 12 acetate, which will last me forever. So I picked up as many of those as I could carry, and I think I have about 4 or 5 packs because I'm so crazy like that. Why would I pick up 4 packs of acetate? Especially at that size. 12 by 12 will go a very long way. So I just basically cut a sheet of acetate down to, this is 4 3/4 by 2. So what you want to do is cut your acetate down to just slightly before 4 3/4. Let me just see if I can get this to show up a little bit better, maybe on some brown paper. Okay, yeah, so I just cut it slightly before 4 3/4 by 2. Okay, so it's a 2" by 4 3/4, just slightly under 4 3/4, and that's gonna go down inside of my envelope right here, and it's going to come just up to or just above the line for the half sheet that we cut and glued on the inside. So when you close it up, you won't even see it, and it just looks so cool. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna use a little bit of Fabrifix glue with my precision tip, and I'll tell you why. If you're not using a precision tip, you will run into issues where your glue wants to string all over the place. A precision tip prevents all of that, and it allows you to put the glue exactly where you need it to go without it stringing behind. Because once you get acetate, once you get glue in the center of your acetate and you glue this down, you'll never be able to get it out or anything into the pocket. So let's just go ahead and, if I can get it to come out, glue down this acetate, and then we can decorate it. So I'm just putting a very tiny bead of glue right before the fold line on all 3 sides of this envelope. Again, the bottom and the 2 sides. Just a very light, just a thin bead of glue on all 3 sides. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to let this dry for just a moment and show you what I've done with the other envelope. So here's the other one that I started. After I let my glue dry, I went ahead with my little cheapy hole punch and punched the corners out on 2 sides. I'm going to do it here at the top as well, just to make sure that it folds nicely. And I'm going to ink it. I'm just going to ink it lightly with, I'm using my ground espresso, just because it's here. It's whatever's on this dauber. I believe it's ground espresso. It's just sitting there. So, okay. All right. So there's that. And then I want to take some of my little bit of a sequence glitter or iridescent sequence or what have you. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit down into the pocket. Well, as you can see, a lot sprinkled down into the pocket, but it's still enough. It's pretty, okay? So after that, I'm going to clean up this mess is what I'm going to do. But after that, I'm just going to test my little Buffalo Wild Wings gift card, see if that fits down in there. Fits nicely, and I'm going to fold up my 2 edges and pop a little bit of Fabrifix glue to glue down the sides. And again, you don't need a lot. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the edge of the bottom of this envelope. And right there. Okay. And that should glue fairly quickly. And let me just check on my other envelope. Yep, my Fabrifix glue worked out really well on this one as well. And then you just pop a little button on the top for the closure. And I would say that would be it. Right, so I could probably use a little bit more glue right here. Just a little. You don't need a lot because, again, it's not a full envelope like you would get with the punch board where your pages wrap all the way around to the front. But that would be that. And then here's my little button closure. I'm just going to use some Fabric Fix. Whoa, there's a lot of air in there. I'm going to have to refill my bottle. Just going to use a little bit of Fabric Fix glue right here on the top of the envelope cover. And pop my little button on there. Making sure my Christmas tree is right side up. Sometimes it feels so weird like talking about Christmas in July, but I can see the value in crafting early, okay? Because before you know it, it'll be the end of the year, and you don't want to have nothing to show for it. Alright, so now that everything is all glued on this first envelope, I'm going to burnish down my creases to make sure that everything stays nice and closed. And that's a cute little thingy. Like, I can put some double-sided tape on this just to keep the button closed, or even a Velcro dot. So let's see. I have here my little mini Velcro dots. Just gonna pop it right there at the edge of both the paper and the button and seal that up. And if you're not sure about your Velcro dots, you can always put a little bit of glue on it. Okay, so there's that. And I'm just gonna check on my other little envelope here. Again, all of this will fold up like so, and I'll put this little Amazon gift card in there. I'm just gonna peel away. I put some double-sided tape on this, so I'm just gonna peel this away and clean up some of this glitter and stick it down inside of that envelope. And then put in my gift card. Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys give this a try. It's really simple to do, and again, the measurements that I used that I gave earlier is you're going to cut your paper, the 12 by 12 sheets of paper, into 6 by 6. Okay, so you'll have 4 sheets per sheet. So 12 by 12, cut it into 6 by 6s, and you'll have 4 of those. So for 2 of them, you're going to use 2 per project, and you're going to cut your first one, fold it on the diagonal, cut it on the diagonal, and then you're going to glue it to the top of this other one. To get the measurements of the envelope itself, you're going to take your sheet, measure 2.5, mark it, rotate it, measure 3.5, mark it, rotate it, measure 2.5, mark and rotate, and then 3.5, mark and rotate. And then you're going to, you can either take your pencil and draw your lines to that mark that you made on all 4 sides, and then you'll see like the little rectangle show up in the middle. And then just use your ruler and fold those crease marks or those pencil marks up, okay? And then it's all like really simple from there. Just cut a couple of corners out, use your corner rounder, round your corners or what have you, and decorate and enjoy. Like, it's really so simple to do. I hope you guys give this project a try, and I want you guys to stay naturally curious. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a crafty day, guys, and I'll talk to you in the next video.